Proof of the existence of God. The title of this video is Proof of the existence of God. Indeed, in this video, we are going to expose some proofs of the existence of God. It is generally admitted that it does not exist and that it is impossible that it exists, a proof or a demonstration of the existence of God. This idea is completely arbitrary and wrong, as we are going to show. Indeed, it is possible to prove the existence of God using rational arguments, and the proof of the existence of God belongs to philosophy. It exists at least two proofs of the existence of God that we are going to expose in part 1, that contain similarities. For instance, they can both be considered as reductio ad absurdum, called also indirect proofs. Then we will show in part 2 the invalidity of 4 classical proofs of non-existence of God. Finally, we will show in part 3 that we can also prove the existence of some qualities of this God. Those proofs of the existence of God are based on the observations of some aspects of the universe that cannot be consequence of random. As a definition, we will say that some physical or biological phenomena are results of random if they occur without the action of a superior intelligence. Those aspects of the universe need the existence of a superior intelligence and power. Those previously cited proofs of the existence of God can be understood by anybody owning basic scientific culture, for instance a 17-year-old high school student, and after also, of course. It will be the same for other proofs of the invalidity of proofs of non-existence of God, part 2, and also of some qualities of the creator of the universe, part 3. So there will be 3 parts in our lecture written on this plate. Part 1, the proofs of the existence of God. Part 2, the invalidity of classical proofs of non-existence of God. Part 3, the qualities of the superior power creator. We go to plate 2. Plate 2, Part 1, the proofs of the existence of God. We are now going to expose 2 proofs of the existence of God. The first proof is based on the main idea written on the screen, that is the observation of the evolution of an arid and desolated Earth to an Earth full of many very complex living beings. Thus, the first proof of the existence of God concerns the evolution in time of our planet that finally brings within a few 100 million years to the apparition of beings as physically complex as are mammals and more generally all living beings inhabiting the Earth. It has been established that a few 100 million years ago it did not exist any life, any living beings on the Earth. If it did not exist superior intelligence governing the universe, then only random would have acted from this time. And it is impossible that random could have led to our present world with living beings as complex as plants, animals, humans. For instance, if we consider a mammal, generally it owns an incredible complexity, for instance his eyes, his auditory system, his blood, his lung and his heart. It is impossible that such a complexity be the result of random, the same way it is impossible that a car or a computer be the result of random. Only the intervention of a superior intelligence can explain the evolution of our world, having led to the apparition of beings as complex as they are. This superior intelligence could be a priori God or extraterrestrials, meaning living beings appeared in the universe and coming from other planets, but we will see further that it cannot be extraterrestrials. The previous proof invalidates one hypothesis of the theory of evolution. That is, the hypothesis according to which the apparition of human being was the result of random, which means, according to our definition, that it occurred without the action of a superior intelligence, and we saw that it was impossible. Nonetheless, it is likely that the action of the superior intelligence at the origin of the existence of human beings proceeded by steps in the apparition of living beings, as it is suggested by many religious texts, for instance, Bible. We go to plate 3. Plate 3, second proof of the existence of God. The second proof of the existence of God has as main idea, written on the screen, the observation of the complexity of physical and biological laws from the beginning of the universe, Big Bang. Thus, the second proof of the existence of God concerns the complexity of physical and biological laws. We know, and it is always admitted by scientific community, that physical laws exist since the beginning of the universe, and that it is also the case for biological laws. Those physical laws are very complex, and biological laws are still more complex than physical laws, because they define completely correspondences between some ADN sequences and living beings. Here also, the apparition of an object as complex as the universe, with as many and complex physical and biological laws, cannot be the result of random, and can only be explained in admitting the existence of a superior intelligence very powerful. This superior intelligence cannot be extraterrestrials, because this superior intelligence was necessarily present at the beginning of the universe, having created it with the biological laws of transformation of ADN sequences, laws fundamental for the apparition of human being, time in which obviously non-extraterrestrial life could exist. Physicists, astrophysicists, and biologists discovered many complex physical and biological laws, but never justified the existence of those laws, despite that the existence of God is the only one possible explanation of the existence of those laws. Here also, the evolution theory cannot explain the existence of physical and biological laws, because those laws exist from the beginning of the universe. To summarize what precedes, despite the quasi-totality of phenomena observed in the universe own a scientific explanation, each of those scientific explanations consists in admitting the validity of some physical or biological laws. And it is admitted that those physical and biological laws were valid since the beginning of the universe, and consequently they cannot be the result of an evolution. Moreover, then complexity cannot be the result of random. The most astonishing and complex laws are biological laws that make some ADN sequences transform in very complex living beings, as are human beings, mammals, birds, plants, fishes. The only one logical explanation of the existence of such complex laws is that they have been created by a superior intelligence called God. We go to plate 4. Plate 4, part 2, the invalidity of classical proofs of non-existence of God. So we are now going to explore the second part of our lecture, showing the invalidity of classical proofs of non-existence of God. Invalidity of the first proof of non-existence of God. The first proof of the non-existence of God is based on the main idea written on the screen that the existence of evil on the earth contradicts the existence of God. Thus, the most current proof of the non-existence of God is the existence of evil on the earth. According to this proof, the existence of evil on the earth implies the non-existence of God. Nonetheless, if indeed we gave proofs of the existence of a superior intelligence having created the universe, we did not prove that this superior intelligence was good, no more that he was all-powerful. We will not consider the hypothesis of a God that would not be good. But the superior intelligence that created the universe, named God, was clearly not all-powerful in an absolute way. He is not able to make that 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4, nor to give liberty to human beings and in the same time oblige them to make the good and to reject the evil. Those are examples. It does not imply that evil on the earth exists only because of freedom of human beings. Indeed, if a young child of 3 years dies because of a leukemia, it is clearly horrible, and apparently this event is completely independent from our liberty. But in reality, his death is only an appearance, if we refer to some holy scriptures. He will continue to live in another world, and one day his or her parents will meet him or her in peace and joy, always according to some holy scriptures. Moreover, nothing can permit to be sure that his or her death will not bring a good, because it is clear that the superior intelligence that created the universe can take ways that the limited intelligence of human beings is completely unable to understand. We go to plate 5. Plate 5, invalidity of the second proof of non-existence of God. The second classical proof of non-existence of God is based on the main idea, written on the screen, that God cannot exist because nobody could create him. A second current proof of the non-existence of God is based on the idea how God can exist if nobody created him. But God, if he is as powerful as being able to create the universe, can also be sufficiently powerful to exist by himself. It is clearly not the case for human beings, animals, or inanimate objects as for instance stars. The limited intelligence of human being is not able to understand how it is possible, but reminds that the power and the intelligence of human being is necessarily negligible relative to the power and the intelligence of the superior power that created the universe. We go to plate 6. Plate 6, invalidity of the third proof of the non-existence of God. The third classical proof of the non-existence of God is based on the main idea, written on the screen, that the existence of deep contradictions between religions, that is a true observation, contradicts the existence of God that could not contradict himself. Thus, a third common proof of the non-existence of God, or that religions are false, is based on the contradictions between different religions. It is true that some among the most famous religions contradict between themselves. For instance, Catholic religion, and most of Christian religions, is compatible with antique Jewish religion, meaning the religion of Jewish before the birth of Jesus Christ. For instance, Catholic religion kept all scriptures of antique Jewish religion. But they are incomplete. But Catholic religion is in complete contradiction with Neo-Judaism, meaning the present Jewish religion concerning the nature of Jesus Christ. Human and divine according to the Catholic religion, but purely human according to Neo-Judaism. In the same way, Catholic religion is in contradiction with Islamic religion concerning the divine nature of Jesus Christ, but also because Islamic religion recommends a conversion war, jihad, called jihad, and to kill Muslims abandoning their religions, called apostates. And Catholic religion forbids any murder. Islamic and Catholic religions present many other contradictions, for instance, the statute of woman. Also in Hinduism, the most miserable people, belonging to the caste of untouchables, are in this situation, according to Hinduism, because of sins that they committed in their past lives. But according to Christian religion, human beings have non-past lives, and moreover, miserable and rich people are considered the same way by God. The fact that some religions contradict between themselves does not imply that they are all false or that God does not exist, but implies that some religions or some aspects of some religions are false because human people who wrote the texts of those religions made mistakes or lied or were badly inspired by some invisible malefic beings bringing to the apparition of false religions, meaning religions not coming from God. Indeed, the existence of some malefic beings, called devils, demons, Satan, seem to be necessary in order to explain some aspects of our world, for instance some ideologies as Nazism and communism, which brought genocides, and also some doctrines considered as religions. The existence of a being infinitely God, as is described God in many religions, imply also the possibility of a being infinitely bad. Moreover, the liberty that God gives to his creatures implies that some among his creatures can definitely become bad and thus become demons, despite that they have been created good. We go to plate 7. Plate 7, invalidity of the fourth proof of non-existence of God. The fourth current proof of the non-existence of God is based on the main idea written on the screen that the existence of religion wars is incompatible with the existence of God. Thus, the fourth current proof of the non-existence of God is based on the existence of religion wars. But the existence of religion wars can clearly be the consequence of the liberty that God gives to human beings. Some human beings badly interpreting or refusing to respect religious texts, or can also be the consequence of some doctrines considered as religions, stating in their text that conversion war in the name of God is a divine commandment. For instance, texts of Christian religion say explicitly that the first commandment is fraternal love for all human beings, but Christian countries made many wars refusing to respect their holy scriptures. In other cases, religion wars have been the consequence of members of false religion that slaughter other members of a religion sent by God in order to convert them by force, and those members of this religion sent by God have no other choice than making war to keep their liberty and their faith. We go to plate 8. Plate 8, part 3, the qualities of the superior power creator of the universe. We are now going to expose the third part of our lecture, meaning proving some qualities of the superior power creator of the universe. The observation of the universe permits also to deduce some qualities belonging to the power creator of the universe whose we proved the existence. Those qualities written on the screen are power, intelligence, called also wisdom, beauty, love, and religion inspire. The immensity of the universe, with its billions of galaxies, each of themselves constituted of billion stars, the extraordinary diversity of landscapes of the Earth, the extraordinary physical complexity of living beings, brings to deduce that the power and the wisdom of the creator of the universe are infinite. The beauty of the universe, if we contemplate the starred sky, the sun, the planets, and especially the Earth, with millions of marvelous landscapes, with millions of beautiful living beings, brings to deduce that the creator of the universe is source of beauty and is himself infinite beauty. Love being the most beautiful, the most noble, the most important feeling for human beings, that are the most elevated, spiritually elevated living beings in our world. They have word. There are only species that have word, but also for many species of mammals and birds. Love being, for instance, the first feeling made by a newborn among human beings, but also in the world of ducks, lions, bears, and most mammals and birds, brings to deduce that the creator of the universe is source of love and is himself infinite love. We can deduce from the infinite love of the creator of the universe that he is also a religion inspirer. Some people, for instance revolutionary French people during French Revolution, but also Freemasons, admit the existence of a superior intelligence creator of the universe, but consider that he sent non-religions, religions being only creations of human beings himself. But because it is certain that the superior intelligence creator of the universe created human beings, it is also certain that he loves those human beings that he created. Indeed, we have seen that he created a world in which love was very important among human beings, but also among mammals and birds, and moreover, he gave to human beings a marvelous body and a marvelous mind. So it is certain that the superior intelligence creator of the universe loves human beings and takes care of them. And because he loves human beings, because he takes care of them, he compulsorily shows to them the way to make good actions and to be happy. Consequently, it is certain that he sends some religions and that he is inspirer of religion. Most of religions are founded on some texts. A given religion could in some cases be based on some texts coming from the superior power creator of the universe, and also on other texts not coming from him. For instance, in Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita could come from the superior power creator of the universe, and the text of Manu, the book of Manu, instituting hierarchies and inequalities among castes, not being itself inspired by the superior power creator of the universe. We also have seen that false religions could exist. End of the lecture.